Hello, beautiful souls. I am Kelly Palmer at Line of Light. I am doing a collective reading for the solstice where you can pick a card and get your message for what spirit wants you to know coming through this solstice. Whenever you see this message is when it's meant for you. The solstice energies are potent leading up to it, and it's also something that might be activating for you weeks or even months after the fact. Already got cards flying, and of course they're cards that I pulled for myself this week. It's amazing how we're all part of the same archetypal journey. Right, okay, one more card, please, Spirit. Or two more. You decide. What is the collective, looking at this card, need to know about these solstice energies coming through? Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe we don't want a third card. I really rely on jumpers, or else I would choose every card, and it would be pick one out of 40 cards. All right, last card again. Awesome. So I'm going to flash those up on the screen. We have Broken Arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. Direction Guardian. Choose your path. And Moon. Take note of intuitive messages. And I wasn't going to include a crystal, but these were already just sitting on my desk at the time these cards flew out. So with deck one, or pile number one with Broken Arrow, we've got Smoky Quartz, which has this super cool rainbow striation through it. With Direction Guardian, we've got this titanium rainbow aura quartz. And then with Moon, I honestly am not 1000% sure what crystal this is. It is maybe like an orange quartz, an orange calcite. It looks like coral to me. It's super beautiful. It was a present from my cousin to my son, and it's been hanging out with me a lot these past couple of days. Okay, so choose your deck, and the timestamp is in the video description. Hello, pile number one. I have so many motorbikes going past while I'm recording, and I'm not going to wait for the motorbikes. I'm just going to let the motorbikes do their thing. Often there are motorbikes when I'm trying to record with myself or a friend, so that's something to look into. Pile number one, you chose Broken Arrow. Embrace the energy of peace, as well as the Smoky Quartz with the super cool rainbow bits in it. I know it's technically supposed to be an imperfection. It makes it less clear, but I think it makes it extra magical. I love rainbows in my rocks. Cool. So this card is about being able to step away from difficult situations, conflicts, relationships, people, where you're being made or you're letting yourself feel like a victim and like you need to defend yourself constantly. So it might be the case that you're going through some difficult periods in your life where you're really holding on to this energy of defensiveness, of feeling threatened, or feeling like you need to stand up for yourself, perhaps coming off quite aggressive in the meantime. I know this has been an issue for me, so perhaps this whole collective reading is actually just a reading for myself. But then again, we're all one being, so hello, other me's. This fits really, really beautifully with the Smoky Quartz because, of course, the Smoky Quartz is supposed to transmute negative energy. It takes the bad and it brings out the good, and we've got some extra rainbows to boot. So let's take a closer look at what this energy is and how we're going to shift it. Okay, so some cards, please, for pile number 1. There we go. I'm shuffling from Chris Ann's Lightseers Tarot because it's super pretty. All right, we've got Death reversed, the Ace of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Cool. All right, so Death reversed immediately tells me that there's a transformative period coming up that is destined to happen. It's been contracted to happen. It's in your Bluetooth, in your blueprint. But for whatever reason, you're not letting it happen. Okay, why did I say that? It's in your Bluetooth, it's in your vortex, it's in the air, it's something that's magnetized to yourself, and it's in the quantum field. It's this invisible coating all around you. It almost makes me think of in fantasy and sci-fi movies where people get kind of ensconced in this fairy dust or this kind of whirlpool of energy before they teleport or something, right? Particularly the way that being beamed up to the ship was depicted in the Star Trek movies with the guy who played Scylla in Heroes, Zachary Quinto. The way that they get beamed up, it's kind of this almost like shifting sands kind of look before they teleport. You're about to be teleported. You're about to quantum leap. There's a rebirth happening. But for whatever reason, you're resisting it. There's a lot of fear left to let go of. So it's a little bit funny because it's like all of your manifestations are coming in. Everything you asked for is about to happen. And now that you've been given your ticket to jump off the cliff and you're at the front of the line and all your bungee equipment's hooked on, you're going, no. And everyone's like, jump, what are you doing? Like, you're in the way, you're holding up the queue, everyone's just annoyed now. Like, you're getting tired and hungry standing at the top of that cliff. It's time to just jump. That's why we've got death reverse, death and rebirth. And this is the happiest death card you could get. That's why I love this deck. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Like the stars shining through the forest. It's the unknown, but it's a beautiful unknown. It's a blessed unknown. It's new frontiers. It's connection with your galactic family. It's connection with your purpose. And I keep wanting to say collective. There's a whole collective of people on the other side of this river, at the bottom of this cliff, like on the other side of this experience, who are going to go, you did it. Like they're waiting for you with open arms. And you can't always hear them, but they're saying, come on, over this side. Like, you can do it. And they're trying to coach you forward, but it's just not happening at the moment. We've got Ace of Wands. We've got inspiration for this experience. Like, definitely, this is something powerful. I'm feeling Kundalini energy. 5 of Wands. Okay, so there's been a bit of a shit fight coming up to this. There's been a lot of turning, molehills into mountains. There's been a lot of squabbling over details. There's been a sense of competitiveness. Is there only one person gets the inspiration and the fire? But that's not true. Everybody's on this playground. Okay, so you've got the vision, you've got the idea, you've got the manifesting power. All of this is happening for you, but there are these external 3D squabbles that are making it really hard right now. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. So you're being shown you've got the power, it's in your hands. Like this was conjunct the Ace of Wands. So you've got the vision inside of you, and you've got the power in your hands in the 3D world, right? Within and without. It's in you and in front of you. You have all of the power in this situation. Nobody has to give it to you. If anything, you might be feeling bad because you won. You're the one who ended up with this vision and power. But maybe you're feeling bad about all these other people clamoring and falling around. And see, that's conjunct the death reverse. So I'm thinking that is what's holding you back. All right, what advice can we get for our friends watching this about how to overcome this stuckness. We already know embrace the energy of peace, right? So don't buy into this thinking. Don't buy into this mentality. You get to choose what the energy of this dynamic is, right? You get to decide if this is going to be, oh, I'm so sorry that other people are bothered. That's not my problem though. Or is it going to be this big battle that you have to facilitate and be part of and pick up a stick and start bashing people with it too? You know, how are you going to embrace the energy of peace, stop being defensive, and I suppose get back into that state of excitement so that you can do what you need to do? All those cards fell for me. That's awesome. I'm also going to pick up an animal guide. I feel like the animal guides are out in full force at the moment, and we ought to be listening. Can we get an animal message, please? Animal message for pile one, for how they can overcome this stuck, kind of rigid, hesitant energy and embrace the manifestations that are coming through. Which animal to help support? Sweet pile number one. Alrighty, who is this? Tiger. So much fire energy in this reading. Okay, Tiger. Love it. Okay. And what are our cards for how to overcome? We got the King of Pentacles. Sure, why not? The Hierophant. The Page of Wands, so much fire, and the Eight of Swords. Okay. So first of all, the tiger is quite a sneaky creature. You know, the expression eye of the tiger is basically a death warning. The idea is that if you've seen the eyes of the tiger, there's no way you're getting away now. Like it's already too late. If you've spotted its eyes and it can see you, you know, say your final prayer because that's it. So even though we think of them as quite vibrant creatures, they're actually masters of camouflage and masters of stealth, super quiet, super graceful, really like the ninjas of the jungle, right? And this tiger is staring dead at you. Give me a hand, Spirit. What's the tiger telling us now? Okay, they're telling us that you are the tiger. So maybe you're the kind of person where once your mind is made up, you can really make something happen. You've got really powerful manifesting energies. And people better not mess with you because you've got a lot of power. You know, you don't need to flaunt around roaring all the time. You can do things sneakily and stealthily, and then you make it happen. You don't need to brag. You know, maybe you put your head down and work, or you just know how to navigate some of these trenches. So when you see tigers around you or you feel that tiger energy, you're being asked to remember that you're the one with all the power here. You don't need to feel defensive. You can snap all of your arrows. You don't need them. You don't need a weapon. It's just your gaze and your intent and your will that is making all of this happen. You're the one with the power here. You don't need to be defensive. They should be afraid of you, and you don't need to prove that. All right, so King of Pentacles, obviously, how are you going to overcome this? All right, look at the wealth you already have. Look at the power you already have. Think about how full your hands and pockets already are. Like, what are you scrambling for and fighting for in the end? You're set. Maybe there are aspects of your life that could require further nurturing financially. Like maybe there are a couple of loose ends out there, a couple of investments you haven't checked up on in a while, maybe some collaborations, maybe some royalty checks, things like that need scooping up. But it's out there. It's all yours. You just may not have cashed in on it all yet, if that makes sense. It's like whenever I'm casting any kind of abundance spells and inviting that in, it's not always necessarily that the universe just makes up money. It starts printing me blank checks, but it finds money that was mine that I didn't know about or that I hadn't been paid yet. You know, that's when you get the email like, oh, whoops, we've paid you the wrong amount. Here's 6 months of back pay for what we missed. Here's this grant we forgot that you were eligible for. Someone's randomly noticed and followed up with me. You know, here's a refund for this thing you were overpaying and didn't realize. All that money is mine. It just hasn't come into my pocket yet. So when you set abundance spells, often what happens is it just does all the cleaning up for you. It goes, oh, yeah, go pick all the apples off the tree now. Here you go. Here are all your apples, right? And I feel like this is what that King of Pentacles energy is saying. Like, look at all the books around him. He's got diverse sources of income and abundance all around him. Maybe just having a look at that all in your lap and your hand would give you the confidence to make any leaps that you need to make. We've got the Hierophant, meditation, higher realms, ascension. Keep going within to rise. Remember who you are. Remember that you are eternal. Sounds so scary jumping off a cliff when you know there's no such thing as death. Getting a lot of heart chakra energy too, like connecting in with that joy and getting time to yourself as well. Not getting caught up with all the squabbling energy. Go out by yourself. You know, if you live in a share house or something, go take a week off by yourself, go for a drive. Get out of the house or lock yourself in your room. Do whatever you can to get alone, to clear your energy and connect to source, connect to your guides, connect to your angels, know who you are. Connect with that power. You're the tiger. Don't let people let you forget. Just heard a slap. It sounded like another card hitting the floor. Something else wants to come through after this. All right, Page of Wands, new beginnings, running forth with enthusiasm, playing, yeah, connecting back with that childlike energy, like the adventurer, the person swiping through Tinder, just super excited about meeting someone new, making stuff for the sake of making it, going out and playing in the sun, on the beach, just, yeah, connecting in with that fire energy. And look, I'm seeing salamanders all over her pants. I feel like there's an elemental energy that wants to come through. So, yeah, fire elementals are really, really tricky. They're the kind that can get your fire lit when you're cold in the middle of the forest and your igniter isn't working, but they're also the kind that can burn your house down if you're not careful. And maybe if your energy is nice and clear and calm, you can ignite something within yourself. Bring that fire back up. And again, I'm getting that Kundalini energy coming through a lot here. Work with it. Joe Dispenza gives this great meditation where you can do Kegel exercises as you breathe in. So you squeeze your Kegels and then you imagine like pushing the energy up and then out the top of your head and then cycling it through. And you go up again on each breath and you keep holding, out again. That can really help you visualize energy coming into your solar plexus, into your heart, and really put movement to that fire so that you're not just consumed by it. And 8 of Swords. So again, a very consistent message throughout this whole reading. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. See, she's fine. She's doing great. She's just seeing herself this way. So perspective. Maybe a little bit too much navel gazing here, or too much looking in the mirror. It's great to be self-aware and to confront our flaws and our shadows and to really deal with ourselves. But if we're not in the right headspace, sometimes we just see what other people see. And if you've got this mean, squabbling energy hanging around you, you might not be able to see yourself clearly right now. You might not be able to see your own light. So instead of looking in the mirror, close your eyes or get outside. Look at God instead. Look at your angels instead, whatever God means to you, whoever your guides and angels are. Go chat to the Arcturians and the Andromedans. Go chat to Archangel Michael and Raphael and your ancestors and your grandchildren. Stop looking at yourself. because you keep seeing yourself as trapped and you're not. It's an illusion. This will show you who you are. Close your eyes instead of looking in the mirror. All right, we've got another message that wants to come through. Okay, quick recap though. What have we got? Time to embrace the energy of peace. That's your central message. Time to let go, stop squabbling, stop matching other people's grumpy, irritable, aggressive, ready for a fight energy. You don't need it. Find a way to break out of that, because you've got this beautiful rebirth coming and you're fighting the wrong fight. It's like you're at the front of this line, ready to jump off the cliff, but you can't even get to the question yet of, do I jump off this cliff? Because the person next to you is saying, I think you forgot to tie your shoelaces. And you're saying, oh no, I did. They're just long laces. And they're like, you didn't tie your shoelaces. It's like, they're just long. Okay, maybe you didn't tie them right, but I still tied them. And they're like, how is that tying them right? You're still going to trip over them. And you're having this like annoying squabble. And you're not even asking yourself the right question. Do I jump off this cliff? Stop arguing about your shoelaces. So you need to embrace the energy of peace so that you can get clear on even asking the right questions to begin with. And, you know, maybe there's other ways. Maybe you're going to go, actually, shit, this cliff is not great. I'm going to go put on my hiking boots and walk down a trail to the bottom instead. You know, maybe there's a whole other frontier of questions to ask at the edge of that cliff. But you've got to get there first. And you're not going to get there as long as you're fighting and bickering and feeling defensive. Let yourself be vulnerable. You're the one with the power here. And these are your manifestations coming in. And they're available to you. They're absolutely available to you. You've got the power. You don't need to call anything else in. You just got to relax, bro. Okay. One more card. Which deck wants to say hello? Yeah, pull from the Angels and Ancestors deck again. Feel like I've got the right decks out right now. Okay. One final message for pile number one, please. Hope you can hear me. There's so much construction going on. I've put my earphones in for the next one. Imagine if this was all unintelligible. That would be annoying. Aha! Perfect solstice message. Winter. Take care of your needs. And we've got this gorgeous lone wolf. How well does that wrap it all up? So I'm in Australia. The solstice is our darkest time of year. If you're up the top, that's fine. Take the message too. Maybe you're meant to hibernate through the summer too. Take care of your needs. Lone wolf. Get away from the pack. Go into hermit mode. And look, you got a wolf in the King of Pentacles too. You've accumulated your wealth on your own. You did not need anybody else for that. You just needed you. Again, this is your manifestation. This is your journey. Go alone. You're the powerful one. It's always been up to you. It's still up to you now. So there's your final message. Take care of you. Get yourself alone. Remember your power. And let this season ahead, the end of the beginning of winter in the Southern Hemisphere, or if it's getting warmer, you know, go hunting for blueberries. Go be you. Go focus on your needs so you can get the clarity you need to see that you're all good. And yeah, look, the goal here is to flip this card upright. You want the death card to be moving. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. That is extremely scary energy. It makes sense that the death card would be upside down. I think everybody's death card is upside down right now. There are so much changes going on. You know, how do you make a huge change in your own life when you don't even know how the world is going to be standing tomorrow, if it's standing tomorrow. I get it. Don't worry. Easier said than done, right? So this is happening for you, remember. This is a change you've been praying for, and it knocked on your door. Are you going to answer? Go have a nap on your own. And then you might. Cool. Thank you, pile number 1. Hello, pile number 2. You chose Direction Guardian. Choose your path and the titanium rainbow aura quartz. Now, this card really resonates quite strongly with me where I'm at in my journey at the moment too. It's a card that a friend pulled for me just the other day at the park, and it's something that I've been reflecting and meditating on for quite a while. So before we pull more cards and get to the nitty-gritty of your reading, I really invite you to reflect on the imagery in the card and what some of that might mean to you. The card is inspired by the prophet Ezekiel, who said that an angel came to him with 4 faces and included the faces of a bull, a lion, and an eagle. And this card is a representation of the fact that your guides, your angels, your direction guardians can come to you in many different forms and many different ways in your life. And there are many different paths for you to take, all of them with their own blessings and challenges and opportunities, right? It tells us that there are no shoulds in this lifetime. I think a lot of people ask tarot readers or psychics or their guides, and they say, what should I be doing right now? And there is no answer to that question because there's nothing you should be doing. What this card reminds us of is that there are ways to do things, but no one specific thing that we have to do, if that makes sense. The message of this card is to tap in with your heart's deepest desires and then to follow that call. We also see wheels through here. So you've got the wheel in the background with some light language symbols. You've got the sun up the top, you've got the elements represented in the corners of the card. And these faces of angels also remind me of the wheel card and the Wheel of Fortune and the fixed elements, because we've got Leo and Taurus represented, which are fixed signs, and then usually Aquarius and Scorpio are represented in there somewhere too. So we've got these 4 corners, we've got the compass, the globe. And what this also makes me think of is our astrological position in this age of Aquarius as well. Stephen D. Matthias talks about this. He says that because Atlantis fell during the age of Leo around 12,500 years ago, and we're now directly opposite that in the age of Aquarius, it means that we're able to access those memories much more easily and fluidly. I also get the sense that we're also having lifetimes kind of echoing those times, the times of Atlantis too. I imagine that there are people from Atlantis, Lemuria, and other civilizations around the planet at that time, including Native American cultures in the North and South American continents, peoples across, the Middle East, North Africa, the Mediterranean, ancient Greece. Basically, if you believed in a civilization around the same time of Atlantis's fall, 12,500 years ago, then likely you've incarnated now, and likely you've chosen deliberately to do that to carry forth a kind of foresight or a chance to do things differently. I think a lot of us have relationships that are being repeated from the time of Atlantis and Lemuria. I think a lot of us are having similar themes come up. And basically all of this is an opportunity, I'm going to say, not a test, but an opportunity to choose differently. But when we say choose your path, what do we actually mean? Some people who are really into timeline jumping, quantum leaping, manifesting, all of that, they start with the outcome, right? They talk about well, I want to be on an earth that's going to be prosperous sooner rather than later. I don't want to be on an earth that's going to go through any kind of apocalyptic scenarios, or I want to look a very certain way by the time I retire or something, right? But the fact is that we can't really control exactly where we're going. A lot of people will fight me on this, but I think a lot of this has been predetermined before you were born. A lot of it is a collective agreement. I don't think it's impossible to completely control where you're going. I think the best way to get on a happy path is to choose the way that you get there, right? To choose to follow your heart every single day, to choose companionship and compassion and forgiveness and, following your heart and establishing your own serenity and being able to live in your heart's truth that what's truly good for you can't be bad for anybody else, right? So I think the Direction Guardian's message for us is to feel to who we want to be and what path we're going to take. My partner has been walking around the house reciting Robert Frost poetry lately, including the path not often tread. I'm trying to remember. Been repeating it over and over again. I should know this one. The path, the road less taken. It's about what path you want to take, not where you're going necessarily. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we go through. And I wonder if there are lots of people incarnated from those times who picked this pile. So that is from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. And I'm pulling now from the Lightseers Tarot because it's beautiful and not scary. Some tarot decks look a bit scary when things come out, and sometimes that can mess with my vibration a bit. All right. Beautiful. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. That looks like the Pleiades in the sky. Any more messages? Solstice messages for pile number 2, please and thank you, Spirit. I really rely on jumpers. Make it super easy for me, Spirit. There we go. All right. Oh, and that one wants to come out too. Okay. So what have we got here? I'll flash it up on the screen, but we've also got the Magician, conjunct the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Ace of Swords is our bonus card at the moment. Okay, so straight away, I'm getting that there's a little bit of angst at the moment because you're trying to create something, but you're not seeing the results just yet. So see, the Magician's planted these seeds, they've set all their intentions, they've done their inner work, they've gotten all the materials together. They're like, yep, I'm awesome, I can do this. And now, months later, I'm going to say 5 months later, a while later, you're looking at what you've started creating and you're wondering why it's not blooming yet, why it hasn't sparked off and exploded. So there's a little bit of waiting around, a lot of expectation, right? You've got this very clear expectation for what you wanted to create, and you're super powerful and you know that you can do it, but it hasn't happened. And you're frustrated. And one of the reasons why you know you can do it is because you've done it before. You've got this vision of all these material creations that you've been able to bring in. And now you want to do it in this new way, right? Maybe you had a 3D matrix career that was quite prosperous, maybe you worked in some kind of event management, or you're a financial planner or in real estate. You'll get at managing and organizing and juggling lots of things, right? Or maybe you had lots of different projects on the go. Maybe you were a teacher. Maybe you got scholarships when you were learning. I'm looking at that owl there. You had a lot of abundance. You had a lot of freedom. You could do what you want. If you wanted to buy a handbag, you could buy a handbag. You didn't have to ask anybody's opinion or save up or anything. You're just like, I want that, I'm getting it. And now you've come into this new community with all these inspirational people who are generating wealth and running businesses and doing stuff in this new way, right? They're doing it through like heart-centered living. They're not super greedy about it. They're not worrying about the outcome so much. There's a sense of like sisterhood, maybe, wherever you are. There's a lot of faith in the universe, and you're like, yep, you know what? I can do that. I'm bringing in the know-how from my life, and I'm a cool, awesome, aligned person. I can create a lot of magic this way. And yet it's not coming in yet. Why isn't it coming in yet? Well, first of all, this attitude of expectation can be a block itself, right? Instead of going, yep, cool, I created this magic. Now I'm going to go off and do something else. Will I wait for it? You've been staring and waiting. And fair enough, maybe you're waiting for clients to come in. Maybe you're waiting for the work to come in. Maybe the commissions aren't there. Maybe the phone isn't ringing just yet. Maybe there is a sense of like reaching. And I feel like this is you now, Ace of Swords. You're looking for a new idea. You want to go back to the drawing board almost. Or you're wondering if you need to take this to another level. Did you think too small? Were you off track a little bit? Why isn't this coming in yet? What do we need to do? What's going to help unblock this energy? Is it that we need to pivot entirely, or that we just need to go distract ourselves with something else, right? Because I do feel like this energy of sitting around in anticipation is attracting more anticipation, right? I feel like if you can, see, look, we got the Magician, Conjunct, Nine of Pentacles. If you can go back to this energy, it'll help manifest this again rather than this. So it's almost like you've got to go on a little shopping spree to recapture that energy of, I have everything I want. I can do what I want. I can spend money. Look at me. I'm so great. Look at me with my little like coffee maker at home. And then just keep attracting more of that, right? Like it's not so much this that's making the magic. It's this. It's the attitude. It's the, oh, I got hiccups. It's the yeah, it's the expression of what you have, right? It's communion with the universe. You give yourself, the universe gives you what you give yourself, right? So when you say, hey, universe, look, I'm taking care of myself, the universe goes, great, more of that, more everything. Ooh, Lovers popped out. Yeah, and again, I feel like maybe this is what you're manifesting. Maybe this is what you're trying to bring in, or the energy of that. If it's not a relationship that you're calling in or trying to reignite, maybe it's an energy of this kind of this decadence, this sumptuous love, this like sensual way of living, right? I'm getting a lot of Taurus energy in this reading, like that kind of fire earth mix. So maybe it is that like that joke that your problems just seem to like disappear when you're getting laid. Like if you're having sex, you can handle anything. Like maybe you need a bit of self-love to get you through this gap, get all that fire energy moving. Also had the Two of Swords fall out. And the Devil card. Okay, that's really interesting. So we've got the Lovers, Two of Swords, and the Devil. Yeah, all right. 626. Isn't that Stitch's alien code, Lilo and Stitch? Okay. So you've got an opportunity to bring in this lover's energy, right? But there's a bit of confusion between its positive expression and its negative expression. The Devil is the flip side of the Lovers. So where the Lovers is two equal souls meeting each other in co-creation, in this reciprocal energy exchange, in this love and sensuality and abundance and sacredness. The devil is trying to control that situation. It's codependence, it's feelings of obligation, it's materialism, it's basically the feeling of being trapped. And it looks super alluring, and it's super yeah, super exotic and erotic, and it has that pull, and it feels very much like the Lovers, except when you ask yourself, like, actually, do I have a choice? And if you don't have a choice, and if you feel like you can't walk away, and if you feel like there's just too much codependency or obligation there, like I'm in too deep, I can't hurt someone, or I've made promises, if there's just that kind of, that little bit of that toxic pull there in that situation, then that's devil energy. And that can also be the difference between, like, I'm going to enjoy my life and what I created and share and, keep the economy going, or I'm going to like hoard all this stuff because I need it to make me feel better about who I am. Right. And we've all been there. I mean, the amount of times, when I had professional jobs and I'd be feeling inadequate and I'd go buy a pencil skirt because it made me feel like a proper professional, right? Like, wow, I look so put together. That'll solve all my personality flaws, right? And with this 2 in the middle, you're a little bit confused about which is which. See, she's looking at the Lovers card. I think intuitively, you know what's going on. You know that what you're doing is okay, but there's just this energy that's hard not to fall back into, especially as you've got this waiting energy. You're tired of waiting. And so that frustration and that holding on and that confusion is probably making you feel like you're slipping into that, like, but this is mine. This belongs to me. Why isn't it shown up yet? How could it be anywhere else? So if you are going to go on a bit of a shopping spree, make sure it's from a place of like fun and beauty, and, go to a market with lots of woo-woo stalls, or like something ethical, right? Like go buy something recycled. It's going to make you feel good, rather than going like, I want to be rich now, and so I'm going to buy stuff I can't afford and I deserve this. Like, be very careful the energy you're choosing. And that takes us back to our Guardian card. There are lots of ways to make really cool things happen. There's no right or wrong for you. It's just the energy with which you're creating it. Are you doing it out of fear? Are you doing with it? Are you chasing something for the sake of chasing it, or out of a lack mindset? Or are you just trusting that everything that's yours will come to you exactly when you're ready for it, exactly when you are the person you need to be when it comes to you? See, that's how we choose our path. It's not just a matter of making magic happen. So that's great too, and that can be really powerful intention setting. But sometimes there are higher things at play. And there's definitely an art of letting go, which is, ironically, what speeds all of this up. I find when I actually don't want something, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for all this abundance yet. It's like hitting me on the head, and I'm like trying to turn work away, or I'm like a little bit flat out. I'm like, wait, pause, everybody, pause. Like, that's when it just keeps coming. I'm like, yes, ready to get rich, pay me right now, nothing will happen. If I'm just like, you know what, I feel cold. Oops. Sorry, it just got super noisy. Anyway, so there's this energy of wanting to call in more, right? But the trick to that is you've got to realize that you already have everything, and that it's already lined up for you. And you got to let things come through with this Lover's energy. And again, that's about trusting the universe. It's about being in love with life and being in love with yourself. Think about all the times that really magical, miraculous things happened for you. What was the energy that you were in then? What was happening? Recapture that sense of wonder and openness to what the universe has to bring you. So maybe you're manifesting this specific thing. Be open to the fact that it will surprise you, and maybe it won't look exactly like what you set the intention for. Maybe it's going to come a little bit differently, but trust that however it comes, as long as you're in this energy of being open and being loving, then what comes is going to be meant for you. And it's going to be awesome. It might not be exactly what you imagine. Maybe it doesn't look exactly like this, but it might be the energy of that, right? So again, it's about picking your path. But we don't pick our path by looking at the outcome. We pick it by asking ourselves, who do we want to be? So tap into your heart. Close your eyes, breathe into your heart chakra, banish any distracting or negative energies from your space, and ask yourself, what are my heart's greatest desires? What is my greatest excitement? And who am I to deserve that? And then do that, and then go do something else. And look, I know it's hard when we're in this this waiting energy, especially if you're depending on it for income. But again, like, just make sure that your energy is not from this lack, codependent, controlling, I have to do this. And the magician can be very controlling. He's not really one for surrender. He's one for demanding from the universe what he wants, right? And sometimes it's got a little bit of devil energy in it. It can be a bit of deception with the magician as well. Just make sure it's coming from this place of like reciprocity, co-creation, you know, the six with the lovers. That also shows us that attaches to the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups and the Six of Swords and the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is victory. Six of Cups is like memory and nostalgia and family and childhood. Whoa, a butterfly just like, I don't know if you saw that, like fully just swooped me. That was so cool. That's Six of Cups, swooped by a butterfly. Six of Swords is moving on to better things, letting go of hard times. Six of Pentacles is reciprocity. It's charity. It's giving and receiving. It's like trusting in the economy of love, and that what you give out is going to come back to you. All right, I want to pull from Kim Kranz's Animal Oracle deck because the animals are out trying to chat to us. And I'm getting a message that we all need to listen to the animal messages around us way more closely and seriously. This lady just got swooped by a butterfly. I gotta listen to that butterfly. All right, what have we got? Oh, we got two cards come out. All right. So the first card that came out was lion. Oh, and zebra. Don't lions eat zebras? We'll talk about that. All right, so I was meant to talk about the lion in this card, and I was going to, but I thought I was rambling on about this card too much. But clearly I was meant to. Look, they're even facing the same way. Well, wait, is that east? But like west, if I'm holding it up to you, I think. Okay, so the first thing I thought of when I first saw this card was Lyra. So if you're not connected to galactic history, Lyra is like your lion, feline beings who were some of the first physical incarnations in this galaxy, along with the human race, right? I believe that C.S. Lewis's Narnia was partly channeled memories from Lyra. So if you've read like The Magician and His Nephew, talking about the magician, there's a scene where these two kids go into this like interdimensional plane, and there are all these ponds and these pools, and they're different worlds, and they're seeing some of them light up, and they get to actually see Narnia be created. And they're there when Aslan, the lion creator god, appears. He's definitely a bit of a Jesus metaphor, but I think he's a Lyra memory. They're there when he shows up. And so whenever I see lions, I think about those creator beings. Well, not whenever, but when I see something as ethereal as this, with these angels who really, you know, create the worlds, I think of Lyra. So I think about the 144,000 chosen ones. I think about being a creator of worlds. I think about connecting to our history, and also our sense of why and our purpose, which goes back millions of years and isn't just something that we've adopted in this ego and in this lifetime. Something that I found out really interesting too, channeled from Daryl Anker and Bashar, is that the Atlanteans were bull worshippers. and they migrated into like North Africa and the Mediterranean, which is where you get the Minoans, who were bull worshippers as well. They were bull worshippers originally. And I've also been having dreams about bull people as well, but I haven't quite been able to download that. So if you're getting line messages coming through, I think that's a clear sign to connect to your creator energy, to your godlike energy. And it might be a good cue to go check out your starseed lineage as well. So remember that all of this, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it can be a bit of a placebo effect. And I don't mean just a placebo effect. Placebos have scientifically been proven to be extremely powerful, most of the time more powerful than the drug or therapy or whatever it is that has been proven to work as well, right? The placebo effect is extremely powerful. But what's actually happening is it's just, you know, when you light a candle, you make a spell. Yes, like there are correspondences and there's vibrational medicine and that, and there's all these things that actually work on a 3D and 5D level too, right? But a lot of the time, the power comes from being able to focus your will. I feel like this is what's reminding you of that. And it's not a mean, controlling will, it's creation for the sake of creation. And so maybe if you're ever getting stuck in that, like, well, do I deserve this? Why do I want this energy? Like, is it from a space of lack, or is it from a space of passion and creativity? Remember, creation for creation's sake is also a valid reason to want things and to deserve things. So you're definitely being called to that, and probably also to connect to the age of Leo, which was the Atlantean times as well. So maybe if you've got some money blocks, for example, maybe that's something that comes from Lyra or from Atlantis. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, Daryl Anka Bashar said that the Atlanteans called themselves Aslan, like Astlan, but sounds a lot like Aslan, right? That's the other reason, though, the bull and the lion, very much an Atlantis message there. Choose your path. And if you're going to be manifesting from a place of like hubris and cynicism and need and a sense of like should, it's not going to work no matter what you choose. Whether you choose to go, you know, help orphans in a starving country or get super rich by creating media or whatever it is, it doesn't matter like what it is and how benevolent it is. If your intention sucks, it's probably going to backfire in some way, right? You need to come at it from this like playful energy. So choose your path, be in that like fun, innocent, creative, loving, helpful, self-respecting energy so that you can get on the right path and bring in your manifestations, whatever they look like. Okay, one final card for pile number 2. There's a final message to take away. Oh, and I forgot about a zebra. The zebra is about being yourself and being quirky and playful. So that's where a lot of those creative lines from me came from. You know, like, don't worry about a strict idea of beauty. You know, be your own version of beautiful. Be your own version of fun. Do what lights you up. You know, this is your license to be eccentric and to be you. Be you, and people will be drawn to that. Even if you don't look like a cover of Vogue, or even if your resume doesn't look the best. You know, if you've got some fun, exciting stuff in there, put it in there. People are bored with the predictable ways now anyway, you know, like the world ending. Give me an elephant on a pink balloon. All right, one final message, please, for pile number 2. So this is me like hanging on too hard, asking for a card. Like, I'm expecting a card. Throw at me card. And I'm like, I don't care, a card will come when it's meant to come. If it's even meant to be a card. That's it. There we go. See, that's the energy we need. Haha, medicine guardian. Be open to healing information. Okay, cool. So that's a good confirmation that sometimes just getting the download from past lives and galactic friends and ancestors is going to be healing in itself. Be open to finding out what those blocks in yourself are. And all this green with Archangel Raphael is really showing me that there's maybe a bit of a heart chakra block, which is why we're talking about loving and the ways that we're loving. There are very different ways to love, and the way that you want to love is the one that's respecting of everybody else's freedom, and not because you have to be and that's the right way to be, but because you genuinely have love for every being and you trust that it's going to work out for everybody as long as you follow your heart as well, right? So again, get your heart right. If you're going to listen to your heart and base your whole life off following your heart, get your heart in good order, get it healthy, do all the healing medicines, go forest bathing, work with frequencies, work with energy healing, do past life regressions, work on those blocks. Because if you've got a powerful, healthy heart, there's nothing you can't do. You're going to be straight back in that creator God energy. Cool. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Hello, pile number 3. You chose the moon card. Take note of intuitive messages and this super cool coral looking crystal. I can't remember what it is. Thank you, Chelsea. I've shifted out to the deck because I was a bit too close to my toddler before, and I was scared that I was going to wake them up while they were asleep. But now I've got a bunch of motorbikes hanging out with me. We can see like kids' toys on the deck and mats and things, but it's really beautiful being out here with the trees. So good space for a magical reading, because we've got the solstice this week, and it's a special solstice because just one day after we've got the full moon. And I'm a big believer that we get that full moon energy for 3 days, actually. So the day before, the day of, and the day after. So we've got that solstice energy eclipsed with this full moon energy. And that's really rare. That's really, really special. And I think this is going to make this time extra magical for things like, timeline jumping and healing and connecting with our ancestors. And also, as the moon card likes to show us, revealing secrets, revealing gifts, learning to be authentic ourselves as well. I did get a bit of a hit that there's going to be an ancestor message in here too. So we'll pull some more cards and see what happens. But basically, the key to this message, what this reading is going to be guided around, is this idea that if you feel like something's off, if you feel like things aren't exactly as they seem, trust your intuition. And if you feel like someone's lying to you, if you feel like someone's playing a game, or there've been some lies of omission, or you're worried about how authentic you're being, this is a key that things are going to be revealed. Things are going to be exposed. Trust your intuition. Act on that. Think of yourself as blindfolded and moving through the dark. Trust your intuition. You know what's going on better than when you're reading the world around you, because it's all kind of illusion at the moment. Well, not all, but there are some illusions going on. We'll take a look at that a little bit more closer. That's from Kyle Gray's Angels and getting a little bit tired, I think. Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, and I'm pulling from the Lightseer Tarot right now because it's super beautiful. It's good when I get tired because then I can channel better and stop thinking and forcing. All right, 2 of Pentacles, first card out. 2 of Wands, 2 twos, so plans, juggling, a little bit of confusion, a lot of thinking. Okay, and a lot of like peach and orange colors here and red colors, so a lot of what does that tell me? It tells me a lot of stop thinking, Kelly, just let it come. All right, trying to balance sex and love, I'm hearing too. All right, and then we've got the Wheel card and the Ace of Wands. Right, so we've got 2211, 1122. Who gets that angel number a lot? There's a sign for you as well, which is funny because 1122 can be about stepping through the door. Sarah Yip teaches that 1111 is the call. It's the gateway. It's the wake up now alarm. And then when you start saying 1122 or 1212, that might be now it's time to actually step through, right? Now you got to do something with it. Now you got to go to the next level. You can't sit around going, oh, look, 1111 for your whole life. So if you're an 1111 seer or a 1122 seer, there's a message for you there too. And so 2 of Pentacles is about juggling, right? It's about having a lot going at once. It's about maybe you're trying to balance like your home and your work, or your work and your relationship, or two different projects that you've got going on. It's showing us that there's a bit of planning to do. And I also see that there's like this 5D and 3D balance, right? So maybe you've got a lot of cool stuff going on energetically, a lot going on in the higher realms, like maybe you're channeling or talking to your guides, or you go do grid work in your sleep. There's something really cool happening on this like ethereal, astral soul level, right? But then there's this 3D juggle as well, where you've still got your jobs, you're still carrying a lot around. And I wonder if some people are moving house maybe as well, you know, traveling through the desert. Because this is a card about planning for travel too. Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about kind of making those travel plans, and then Three of Wands is actually going somewhere. Well, that's how I read them anyway. See how she's got the globe and the sticks. She's got these big dreams and she's got these big plans, and she's super ready to walk out the door. She just hasn't done it yet. So you're getting the sense of being at the drawing board still. Still trying to work out the logistics of how something's going to happen. And for whatever reason, you're just not out the door yet. Could be a timing thing. Again, look, and then we've got the wheel, contract, the Two of Wands. Maybe you're waiting for a certain fortune to come in. Maybe you're waiting for conditions to be perfect. And you've also got Ace of Wands. So inspiration, powerful creator energy, vision, will, third eye opening, Kundalini awakening. All right, so what's going on here? I've got the sense that stop thinking, Kelly, just let it come. I'm seeing all these circles. You know, you've got the globe, got the wheel, you've got these. So again, and then the moon, obviously, too. So there's this sense of things having their cycles and their seasons. And I feel like this is telling you that your season is coming up. So maybe you've been making all these plans and waiting for your time to actually make a move, wait for, you know, this step to like launch a business, to go on this trip, to go on this retreat, to actually be ready for what's coming through, right? But I think you're also seeing it as a bit of a gamble, and you're wondering if it's a risk that you want to take. So like this wheel looks like chips from a casino, and you're seeing like dark and light energy coming up on either side. And the Wheel of Fortune is usually a really prosperous card. It usually shows really good luck coming in. Usually when it's reversed, that shows you that there might be bad luck, or maybe you're not going with the flow. And I feel like there is good luck coming, but you're doubting it. You're thinking, well, am I just being like flighty? Am I being wishy-washy? Am I just going change for the sake of change, not making the most of what's here already? But the thing is, you have a vision, and this isn't an illusion. The vision itself is strong. The vision itself is worthwhile. There's something really beautiful that you can create there. And you are creating it. You've started creating it, but you're wondering about whether or not you're just creating for the sake of creating. And I said at the end of the last video that creation for creation's sake is a valid reason to make things and ask for things and deserve stuff. You're allowed to go, you know what, I'm a creator being and this is my natural state, and that's why I want to do it. And that's my only reason, and that's good enough. And I don't need to do any more self-work on, or, you know, stuff on blocks, overcome anything else, or be more worthy than that. I'm a creator, I'm creating. Like, that's good enough. And I feel like you're not quite feeling it. You're wondering if it is just a bit of a gamble, if it is just a bit of whimsy. But the fact is that you are coming up to the season where you can manifest. But things are going to be revealed to you. So you're going to be able to see the truth of what it is that you want versus all the extra stuff. So it's something's going to happen or something's going to be illuminated within you that's going to help you tell the difference. And it's not going to be a matter of like, is this worth manifesting? It is. But it's going to help separate like the higher good from the ego stuff, right? What's going to happen? What's going on? Thank you, jumpers. All right, Ace of Swords reverse. And 5 of Wands. Okay, we had those come out in pile number 1. All right, so Ace of Swords reverse shows me that there's blocked thinking. You're not able to think through your own ideas. They're not coming to you at the moment. Maybe there was this awesome spark of inspiration, but now there's just a bit of like getting stuck in the details, wondering how it's going to work, not being sure if it's worth it now that you're dealing with all the boring kind of nitty-gritty admin stuff, right? And so you're in this place where you're a little bit stuck and you're not coming up with new ideas for how to move forward. You've kind of lost your inspiration because you're getting in spats with other people about it now. You know, maybe you're arguing with yourself. Maybe these are the voices in your head as well coming in and trying to pull down what you're talking about, kind of pooing on the vision. But I feel like you're doing this to yourself a lot too. Like if other people are giving you a hard time about your ideas, maybe they're just a manifestation of your own doubts. And, you know, maybe having a bit of a debate with them, whether it's in your head or out loud, will help you clear your own blocks inside of yourself. 10 of Swords. Okay, endings. There's going to be an ending, like a real final dead in the ground kind of ending. Okay. So something needs to fall away. Something needs to stop. Something needs to come to a complete end so that you can free yourself of these negative thoughts, so that you can free up that energy again. Right. And so this is why we're seeing cycles. You're trying to create something new while still holding on to something old. Maybe you're not ready to walk out that door yet. Maybe you have to put one of these bags down before you can materialize this one into reality. There's a sense of endings that need to happen that you're not feeling ready for. Okay. All right, so tell us then, is this inevitable? Is this something? It's funny, card number 3 didn't really want to come out for this reading, and I feel like it's an extension of 1 and 2. Like one big reading. All right, here we go. I needed that. Thank you, cards. 10 of Wands. More endings and packing up. All right, yeah, actually leaving the house now. Actually leaving. And then, 3 of Wands. Remember how I said 2 of Wands is making the travel plans and 3 of Wands is actually going traveling? All right, it's happening. It's happening. Like the kind of stuck, the plateau, the stagnant feeling, or like not even stagnant, just the slowing down, the grind, they're getting stuck in the details, that's transforming. That's turning into moving on, stepping out, making something new happen. And remember I said moving house was a theme here for some people. Some of you are moving house. And maybe you're making a lot of plans about that. You're kind of second guessing whether or not you should do that. There's this sense of, maybe it's not too late to stay. No, like you're going to be stepping out. And once you do, it's going to be easier. Once you're actually on the road, that's when all that energy is going to ignite again. It's because you haven't actually come to that next step yet. This is just where you are in the season. It's like you're at the waning gibbous phase, right? Or the yeah, actually I'd say more like the quarter moon, right? So it's kind of like half light, half dark. You remember why you wanted to do this in the first place, but you're not really feeling it at the moment. You're feeling kind of stuck. You've got these doubts. Other people are probably questioning you, just manifesting your own internal doubts. But once you're actually doing it, like once you actually get to the next part in the cycle, it's going to be way more fun. Once you actually get out the door, like your path is going to be lit up and aligned. You're going to have more freedom. You're going to have more excitement. You're going to actually get to solidify some of those plans. They won't all be just penciled in. You get to go, all right, I'm doing this on this day, and this is exciting. And I get to go, not just unpack my stuff, but I get to decide where the pretty little things go. Where am I going to hang this painting? And now I get to lie out on my new bed. And now I get to actually, post the marketing ad for this cool new thing I'm working on. But I feel like this is a physical change for a lot of you. Some of you, it's like an idea you're trying to bring the world. There's some logistics, like work-wise. You got to actually start the new job. But I feel like this is very much a 3D. It's all about bringing the higher idea into physical reality. That's what you're working on. And yeah, so I guess your message is that this is just where you are at in the cycle. Just unfortunately, you're at this boring, gritty part. But as soon as you move through to the next cycle, it's going to be easier and it's going to be more fun. It won't suck forever. That's just this part of the cycle. Because like the tides come in, the tides go out, the moon waxes and wanes. Life goes on. It takes a lot of effort to stay still. So don't worry. If you're worried that you're going to be stuck forever, you're not. You literally could not be. It's against the laws of physics to be stuck in one place. I was reading Way of the Peaceful Warrior, and one of the questions that Socrates asks of his student, Dan Millman, he says, "Where are you?" He's like, "In a gas station." Like, where? And he's like, "Well, in this city, in this state, in this country, on this planet, in the Milky Way." And he's like, "And where is that? And where is that? And where is that?" Until he says, "I don't know." He says, "How can you know the answer to anything if you can't even answer me? Where are you? You don't even know where you are. You don't know anything." And I really love that because it reminds me that we can't stay still. We're never still. Like, we're on a planet going 3,000 kilometers an hour as it spins and as the galaxy itself rips through space, right? We're never going to be stuck for long. All right, the animal card that came out for you from Kim Kranz's deck is Elephant. Again, we've got that like Kundalini energy that is coming through this entire energy, the fire in the third eye. So reconnect with that vision. That's what's going to get you through these more difficult times. That's what's going to help you move forward more gracefully. Do you want to be rolling with the waves? Do you want to be like surfing what's going on? Or do you want to be dumped in the ocean because you're forced to? So check out this energy, that's fire moving through you. Work with that. You've got so much inspiration and so much energy, and you're just sitting on it at the moment. Work with it. All right, I feel your ancestor message coming through too. Some of you have ancestors who really want to work with you, whether that's grandparents or great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. I feel they're more immediate. I feel they're closer to you. So there's a sense of not forgetting, this sense of information being passed down. Your ancestors want you to connect with them so that they can pass on the lessons, what I wish I did, what I regret, right? This is my first collective reading over tarot. And it's funny how you have to, like when you're connecting to one person, it's like a soul level here. And then when it's for the collective, it's like way higher up. And it's really stretching a muscle there, which is really fun and exciting. I like being able to feel it coming from so much higher up. It's like akashic level. It's not just like a higher self, which I usually channel. This is fun. So what are the ancestors of pile number 3 want to share? They're saying just because we accumulated more wisdom across our lives because we're older than you, and just because we've lived a life doesn't mean that we want you to follow in our footsteps. Like sometimes wisdom means understanding that you would do things differently. Sometimes wisdom means doing something differently because the times are different and the times demand it. They're saying don't repeat cycles. Break the cycle, do something differently. And saying, what do your children want? What do you want for them? Do you want them to repeat the cycle that your great-grandparents and grandparents and parents and you were all part of? Do you want them to be able to step out and do something differently? Okay, yeah, there's an ancestor energy keeping some of you stuck as well, the sense of maybe comfort. Like I live in this beautiful family home. I don't know if I want to go take a gap year overseas, a place where I don't know anybody. That sounds silly. I can live here rent-free. Mum's great. My meals are all cooked. I want to stay here. But it's like, maybe the point is not staying here. Maybe the point is making a new path. And I'm really hearing breaking the chain here. Break the chain. Do it differently. Do it better. And the ancestors are saying we weren't wrong, but if we incarnated now, we wouldn't do it the same way. These are different times, these are different energies, these are different opportunities to do something different. And they're also saying, why did we put down so much groundwork for you if you weren't going to use that to go forward? Like we tended the soil, we planted the seeds. Now you go do something with those crops. Don't just keep planting seeds. Don't be farmers forever. Go do something with that. Go grow it. Go sell your corn and make things out of the husks and go traveling and selling those. I'm seeing this like moving on again, like a lot of moving energies, moving house, traveling. Cool. Thank you, elephant. Thank you, ancestors. For everyone else, I pulled a final message. We get one final message, please, for pile number 3, for them to walk out with, to assist them with this solstice energy. Pile number 3 gets a final card. Yes, you do. Mountain, stand your ground. I feel like this has a lot to do with the elephant too. Stand your ground. Okay. This card was also pulled for me the other day. Someone pulled like 5 cards for me the other day, and almost every single one of them has come out. Excuse me. In this reading. Excuse me. Camera turned on. Luckily, the screen is protecting you from my spit flying out. Okay, mountain, stand your ground. Okay. Hold the vision. Don't let these voices get you down. Remember who you are. Don't get washed away in the wind of all of these babbling voices. Remember who you are. Remember what you wanted. Remember your vision. And remember that you've got the support of all your ancestors behind you, and they want you to go do something to break this chain. You've got an important job here. It's not for nothing. And I do feel like you're feeling a little bit blown away, right? And a lot of this fire I'm seeing in the wind. Like this fire is moving off to the side. We've got some wind here, some good, some bad. Wind in her hair, moving her forward. This lady's got wind in her hair, but the fire's stable. The path is still lit. The path is lit here too. Wind in her hair. Yeah, so don't let yourself get blown off course by the wind and all the voices and all the chattering. If anything, like, let it inspire you to feel a different kind of wind in your hair. And it seems like you've got some stable bases too. It seems like, well, maybe you could come back home one day if you want to. Maybe you're good at juggling things. Maybe you've got stuff to work with. Maybe it's not a matter of never being in a safe place in your comfort zone ever again. But I do get the sense that like once you make this change and step out and like break through this more kind of boring phase, it's going to be so much fun. You're not going to want to go back. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like this is a message about the intuition as well. So some things are about to become revealed for you that have been illusory until now. So maybe there's been some lies, some half-truths. That's going to come through. It's going to validate your intuition. And as long as you stand your ground and don't get caught up in that, you're going to be free from that. Like that illumination is going to help you step out the door. It's going to help make the plan a reality. And it might just be like this final push. And I feel like it'll be like, oh, I spent all this time worrying about somebody else's feelings. And now I've just learned that they actually don't care at all. And I was worrying for nothing. Wow, that hurts. Oh, well, thanks. All right, cool. I can go do this thing now. Gonna be like that kind of energy, like this click, like this, I thought so. Cool. Like it'll sting for a second and then you're gonna go, I can go do that thing now. We've just flicked from planning and juggling and trying to get everything perfect. They're like, yeah, let's go. Throw the chips. All good now. I'm ready. Cool. Thanks very much, Pile 3. Have a blessed solstice and happy new moon. Bye.